It's time to awaken your inner goddess and co-create magic with the universe. Hey there, goddess. Welcome to your training on manifesting with the lunar cycles, discovering the power of astrology and the divine feminine. So my name is Kara Melendi, goddess mentor, astrologer, also certified in the Akashic Records. I consider myself a visionary, and my main passion and motivation is to help you awaken to your goddess power and co-create magic with the universe. So if you are new to me, welcome. I am so glad that you found your way here. And if you've been following me for a while, I am so glad that you are here today to partake in this training. Really excited to share this magic with you because astrology has been life-changing for me, and specifically working with the moon cycles, because in astrology there's a lot of focus around our sun signs, which are zodiac signs. And I remember being the kid, and maybe you can relate, usually if we have a love of astrology, it's been with us over time, right? We've always kind of felt this gravitation toward it. And I was the kid reading my horoscope, and then I would read my friend's horoscope for the week. And of course, those horoscopes in, magazines or that we find online, they're based on our sun sign, the sign that the sun was in at the time that you were born, also known as our zodiac sign. Now, equally as important is your moon sign. So this is the sign that the moon was in at the time you were born. And this is really what got me into astrology in even a deeper way, because, I loved exploring astrology as a child. Just to give a little background, if you are new to me, so in addition to doing the astrology work, I work with the Akashic Records as well. They go beautifully together. And I'm also a psychotherapist, or I worked as that more so in the past than I do now. I have a master's in psychology, did psychotherapy, and when I started to gain this love of astrology, I would pull up the birth charts of my clients to get a deeper understanding of them and where they were in their life. And now I've dived more into doing astrology on a regular basis and working with the principles of manifestation and how we work with our unique soul blueprint to be able to master manifestation, and even deeper than that, make it a co-creative process as we learn how to work with these cosmic energies and manifest with these incredible energies. And today, specifically, what we're looking at is the lunar cycle, right? And the role that the moon plays in astrology, and how it's very much connected to the divine feminine energy. So super powerful stuff that just gave me a deeper understanding of myself when I discovered what my moon sign is. So I definitely encourage you to explore that. Take this time for you after you're done watching this video. Online, you can look at moon chart calculators or birth chart calculators, and you can discover where your moon is. And that will really help you gain an even deeper understanding of yourself. So before we dive in even further, I invite you to join me for a brief meditation so we can just get really grounded, really focused in this moment. And I encourage you to take this time for you. You are worthy, you are deserving, and you will get the most value out of today if you set aside time to just focus and be with yourself and be open to any insights that come through for you. So take a moment to close your eyes. And I invite you to bring awareness into your breathing. As you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth, feel as your body naturally begins to relax. As you set aside anything that happened prior to this, and as you set aside anything you have to go to afterwards, give yourself permission to fully take this time for you. And as you continue to inhale and exhale, feel as your body relaxes further. And I invite you to bring awareness into your central column of light that runs from above the crown of your head and flows all the way through your body, all the way down into the crystalline core of Mother Earth, helping you feel grounded and supported as you connect to the wisdom of your body, as you connect to Gaia. And now as you continue to breathe, envision this column of light flowing throughout your body, clearing away any old dense energies, helping you feel relaxed and at the same time a sense of being renewed and refreshed and energized. And as you focus in on your heart space, envision your heart center fully opening up and surrounding you in the energy of love. And from this place, set your intentions for our time together today. Set your intentions for this training. Perhaps there was a reason that you felt drawn to this, something that you feel you want to get out of today. So call to mind that intention, hold it in your heart, trust that it is done. Maybe you simply just felt gravitated toward this and you're not really sure why, and you can set the intention that you will receive exactly what you're meant to today. And let's take one more deep breath in. And release. And opening your eyes when you're ready. All right, so nice and grounded. So let's talk first about some of the astrology behind the moon and what it represents in astrology. And then from there, I do have some slides that I want to share with you that go over the 8 different phases of the moon. So you can take notes if you want throughout, but you're also welcome to take screenshots of these different phases and some of the rituals that go along with them. So just whatever you feel guided toward. But before we jump into that portion, to share a little bit about what the moon represents in astrology, the moon is our inner world. So it's where we find our sense of comfort, security, and safety in our life. It's our intuitive response to situations. So where the sun sign represents our personality and our outer expression, the moon sign represents our inner world and what we need at the end of the day to have this sense of security, safety, and comfort in our life, how we intuitively respond to situations. And the sign that the moon is in is going to determine how that is expressed for you. Now, what's really interesting when it comes to relationships, because when I do readings, this is a common question that I get, is compatibility. Are these signs compatible? Even more important than sun sign compatibility is our moon sign when it comes to relationships, because if there's differences there, it's not that we're not compatible with that person, but we need to be aware of it because it will certainly come into play in how we relate to people. This can be in our friendships as well, especially our close relationships, people we're spending a lot of time with, because the moon is what we need at the end of the day to feel comfortable and secure. So to share an example of this, I have my moon in the sign of Taurus, and my husband has his moon in the sign of Gemini. So these are very different energies, really. Taurus likes this sense of comfort and safety and just being at home, relaxing, surrounded by beautiful things, or going out for like a delicious dinner, enjoying delicious food. A Gemini moon craves more socialization, right? They love to communicate, they love to connect, they love to chat. So he will be much more extroverted than me, or even in social gatherings, be able to stay out and communicate and share stories and just engage a lot longer than I will before my energy begins to decrease. So knowing these differences in our moon signs, it actually helps me understand him better and understand what we both need on an emotional level, or in terms of disagreements. I know people that have their moon in an air sign, they need to really talk it out, right? Or their mind is going to keep going. So these are just examples of how our moon really comes into play in relationships and what we really need at the end of the day, how we express ourselves emotionally. All that stuff is determined by the placement of the moon. And now, in addition to that, and this is what we're really going to focus on today, is the moon goes through the different phases. And we're going to look through the 8 different phases of the moon and some of the rituals or things to focus on when the moon goes through these phases each month, right? It's always cycling through these different phases. And that's why we can also experience ups and downs in our mood throughout the course of the month. This can be influenced not only by the phase that the moon is in, but the sign that the moon is in, and taking it a step further, how that is interacting with your unique birth chart, which is your soul blueprint. So with that being said, let us dive in. We're going to look at these different phases of the moon and how you can manifest with this energy following these lunar cycles. It does really connect you back into your body. The moon is very much connected to this goddess energy, where the sun is more representative of the masculine. The moon is the divine feminine. It's the goddess within. And naturally, by connecting to these lunar phases, we get more in flow with the divine feminine. Because the moon is not always about being overly extroverted and out there and really producing content or socializing all the time. There's a time for that in the moon phase. And then there's also a time where we go within and we recharge. So as you follow this, you'll find that you also get in touch more with the natural cycles in your body and what you need, and that is very important. But following the lunar cycles tends to help you be aware of that and what you need within your body. And that's what manifesting with the goddess energy, with the divine feminine, is all about: connecting to the wisdom of your body and understanding that life occurs in these cycles. So this can also help you increase your productivity overall, increase your energy, increase your manifestational powers, because you're honoring your own rhythms and you're co-creating with the universe. That's what I love to help women do, is realize we're not alone in this process. We can work with the cosmic energies that surround us. So I'm so excited to dive into this with you, Goddess. All right, let's take a look at these different lunar phases, discover the magic of astrology and the divine feminine. So this is where you are welcome to take screenshots of each of these if you desire, or you can also take your own notes around it, or you can simply set that intention that you receive exactly what you're meant to and trust. That is so, that is always true. So beginning of the moon phase is the new moon. So this always begins the new lunar cycle, and at the time of the new moon, the sun and moon are conjunct. So what that means is they're side by side. So in terms of astrology, anytime it's a new moon, the sun and the moon are in the same astrological sign. So we're really feeling like the moon is pulling in that energy, whether it's Aries or Taurus or Capricorn, wherever this is happening, the moon is recharging in that energy. And a beautiful way to see a new moon is pure potential. This is a new beginning. One of the things that I love about working with the lunar cycles is how it always offers us this opportunity to begin again. So regardless of where you are on that manifestation journey, the new moon is a chance to say, let's start again, let's begin over. This is your energetic reset. So at the time of the new moon, this is a beautiful opportunity to set your intentions for what you want to call into your experience and what you want to create in your life. So some new moon rituals you may want to work with include meditation. When it's a new moon, it is more of a time to be internal and go within. So it is helpful to take time away from the socializing and all the activities. And we all have a different life, different routines, different lifestyles. As much as taking like 15 minutes to yourself to go within, is all you really need to see these changes. But at the same time, you may find that you're called to take more time around the new moon. Just have like a quiet, relaxing night in where you can meditate, where you can go within, because our intuition is very strong at the time of the new moon, especially if we use it as a time to go within and trust that, yes, I do have the answers within me, and I'm open to going within and connecting to that inner guidance and to that inner wisdom. So meditation, visualization is very, very powerful when it comes to manifesting what we desire. Visualize what you want to call into your experience. Visualize what you want to create in your life. I also love to charge my crystals outside at the time of the new moon. Now, this is interesting because I do believe crystals have an energy and a power of their own, and we do not need to charge them in the moon in order for them to be powerful. Now, having said that, this is a ritual that I really feel I enjoy, and even connecting to the energy of my crystals. It's like this appreciation and kind of co-creative process when, you know, I'm respecting their energy and I'm setting the intention that they're going to be charged in this new moon. And what I like to do is then take my crystals in after charging them. I don't do this with all of them, but I specifically have some gemstones that I love to work with, and I'll charge them, and then after that I put them in a grid. So I love to create these crystal grids, and I just allow my intuition to guide me with that. And what that helps me to do is harness my intentions of what I'm manifesting, and then every time I see this grid, it is a reminder of what I'm focused on creating in these new moon energies. It can also be helpful to write it down. When we write things down, it really solidifies them as well. You may also want to do an oracle card pull. I love working with cards, so I'll set my intention, tune in, and pull a card and see what guidance I'm receiving around this. I also like to just open it up and say, what am I meant to receive at this time? What guidance do you have for me? And pull a card around that. So you may find it helpful as well even to create a place in your house, like it's often referred to as an altar, which is this sacred space where you can put your crystals there, you can put your cards there, you can put your writing down for what you want to manifest and bring into the world, and it just holds in and locks in that energy for you. And that's a beautiful way to honor these new moon energies. Now, let me go back. And I also have on here the balancing of feminine and masculine energies. So the sun is representative more of the masculine, the moon is the goddess, the divine feminine, and at a new moon where they're coming together, it is a balancing of these energies within you, which is also very powerful when it comes to manifestation as well, because the moon is that receptive side that allows us to manifest with ease and flow and to listen to the wisdom within. And then the sun is that energy that allows us to take that out into the world and then take action on it. So new moon, first start of the lunar cycle. And then from there, let's go back. We have the waxing crescent. So this is when the moon starts to become visible in the sky. This is the second phase, and our energy gradually begins to build as well. Really, all we have to do is look up at the sky. If it's not a cloudy night, it's like the moon kind of tells us itself what phase we are in. So this is a time where we gradually start to look at moving forward with our intentions and what we want to manifest. But just like the moon, it's a gradual build to the full moon. It's a gradual increase in our energy and what we want to create. So we begin to kind of put those plans in place. We start to take those action steps. We recommit to our soul aligned goals that we set at the new moon. It's important to continue to have that commitment. And this is where you'll really see the power in manifesting with the lunar cycles. If you're recommitting, right? So at the new moon, you set those intentions, but you're meant to revisit them throughout. And at times you may modify them. With the waxing crescent is to check in and to recommit. So this is also a very receptive energy. Continue to pay attention to where your intuition is guiding you. What do you need energetically, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually to manifest your goals? So another way to say that is, what belief system do you need in order to manifest your goals? Do you have beliefs that are not in alignment with what you want to create? Emotionally, do you have the energy you need to manifest your goals? Are you feeling replenished? Are you nourishing your soul? Spiritually, do you feel you have that sense of connection and co-creation and that realization that you don't have to rely on your strength alone? The universe has your back. The universe is supporting you. You don't have to do this alone. So great time to work with a guiding affirmation for the lunar cycle. So choose an affirmation that helps you really lock in that energy of what you want to create, that you can continue to repeat and refer back to. So the first quarter moon, this is when we see like a half moon in the sky. It's really visible then. It's very beautiful. Our energy, this is definitely when we want to be in a mode where we're taking daily action steps to manifest our goals. We're out there. Our energy is building. Now, what's interesting about this in terms of the astrology behind it is the first quarter moon starts off at a 90-degree angle. And this is a square in astrology. So the sun and moon are forming a square. And in astrology, there's these different aspects, and a square is known to cause tension, but through tension causes growth. So when there's a first quarter moon, there can maybe be some frustrations, there can be some tension that's building, and it's a really good opportunity to go back to what you want to manifest, what you want to create, and look at where the tension or frustration is coming from, because the square calls us to make a change. We either stay in the discomfort or we look at what needs to be changed and we make the necessary changes. So this is a great time to physically embody the energy of what you desire to manifest. Your energy is building, and with that, it means you have to move your body. You don't want energy to stay trapped in your body. So yoga, beautiful way to move that energy. Dancing, and dancing very much is connected to the divine feminine, to the goddess energy. It awakens our sacral chakra, puts us in touch with our body. It allows us to see things in a new light. So I love to dance, and I would recommend this to anyone, especially if you find when you're working on manifesting, if you're getting too much in your head about it and you're trying to figure out all the details or the how. When you go back into your body, you'll see it in a whole new way. It'll shift you from the mind back into the heart space, and you'll just find you'll have more creativity flowing through you again. So important to recommit to goal and allow your higher self to guide you during this time, because a lot of the tension as well comes from the fear mind, the limitations, the scarcity, our old inner critic. But if we connect to our higher self, we ask that our higher self lead the way, we can really use the energy of this first quarter moon to propel us toward what we desire to manifest. So it's a higher energy time. And then we move into the waxing gibbous. So the moon almost looks full in the sky at this time. It's almost fully illuminated. Energy is high. Take massive action. Begin to have new perspective on original intentions. You can find new opportunities really coming in at this time, especially if you've been working each phase of the way. Really clearly harnessing the energy of your intentions, committing to it, working through the frustrations, the fears and doubts. This is where you can start to be on the other side of it and see the opportunities coming in for you. Even having a new perspective on originally what you desire to create. So new ideas, new way of seeing it. This is great energy for socializing, networking, gathering with your fellow goddess sisters, and just, you know, the moon, again, it gives us a sign in and of itself. It's almost full. Our energy is really building. It's higher. It's about being out there. And this is the time where we may hustle a little bit more. We may take more action. Not that you don't honor your body. Even throughout all of these phases, the moon is always about going back to the wisdom that you hold within and honoring what your body needs. You'll find as you follow these lunar cycles, you're automatically doing that more. You're honoring what you need. And then the full moon, I love a full moon. I just love looking up and seeing the beauty of a full moon. I love the power of the full moon. And this, in terms of what's happening in the sky around this, is the moon is opposite the sun. So in terms of astrology, a full moon always happens when the moon is in the opposite sign of what the sun is in. So there's an opposition always in place at a full moon. So opposition, similar to a square in astrology, does bring up more energy. It can even bring up some tension. It can even bring up an indecision and a pull-in energy. And that's one of the reasons we can feel more emotional around the full moon, as we are being asked to really clearly make a decision in our life, to really clearly find a sense of balance within our life. Emotions are amplified, so people feel sometimes sad around a full moon. Sometimes they feel elated, right? They're just got this beautiful boost of energy. So a full moon is also a time to celebrate and at the same time release. So it's a lot going on with the full moon energy. And the reason it's a time to celebrate is you're looking back at what happened at the new moon and all the steps you've taken along this journey so far, where you are in this process of what you want to create, and celebrate your success. Now, celebration is key for manifesting. When you are in the energy of celebration, you are very high vibe. Very, very high vibe. And celebration is a choice that we make. There is always, 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 always something to celebrate if we choose to. Use the full moon energy to celebrate what is working. Celebrate your lessons. Celebrate the realization. Celebrate that you rose above any of the tensions, and honor what's coming up within you. Now, the releasing part comes in if you're realizing that there's certain beliefs that it is now time that you need to let go of. Energy comes up to be addressed, to looked at, sometimes to be healed. So if we're feeling this sense of sadness, what is it teaching you? What is it showing you? What is the lesson you can learn from this? Is it time to release some of the pain that you're holding on to in your energy field and in your body? Full moon energy is great to release that. So notice what emotions are coming up for you. Use this as a beautiful time to allow the universe to speak to you and allow a sense of healing and celebration. They can go together. We can celebrate that we're taking the time to heal. We can celebrate all we are blessed with and have to be grateful for. And we can feel replenished and renewed by releasing what it's time to let go of. So full moon rituals can be very similar to new moon rituals. I also love to charge my crystals in the full moon energy as well, because I just love that I can usually see the moon in the sky and I feel the energy even stronger. So I love to recharge my crystals again, and then I'll do another grid. And the crystal grid that I'll often do around the full moon is the releasing. And so with the new moon, it's the intention of what I want to call in. The full moon is holding the power to allow me to release what isn't working in my life anymore. Now, I work a lot with EFT and tapping. EFT stands for the Emotional Freedom Technique, where you're literally tapping on acupressure points in your body to move your energy. So in my Goddess membership site, we do a lot of tapping in there, especially when we're working with the lunar energies. And this allows us to clear away and release on a deep cellular level and energetic level what is no longer working. So you can do tapping anytime, but it's super powerful around the full moon to guide you in that releasing process. Now, you also may want to visit journaling and writing during this time as a way to write down what you're releasing and letting go of. Fire rituals. People love to have fires around the full moon and like burn what they're releasing. It's just very symbolic of, now I've allowed this to fully let go and be transformed into something new. So some ideas for working with this full moon energy. All right, cool. So I think, oh, here we go. Like, let me just find this here. For after the full moon, we're on the other phase of it. We're going down, and it starts with the waning gibbous. So this is where the moon gradually appears to shrink, although primarily visible in the sky, right? So just when it's waxing, it's like we can just see a little bit. When it's waning, it almost looks like it's full, but our energy, we're slowly, like we're working back up to the new moon again. So it's almost a time, see the second part of the cycle as like wrapping things up. So when it's in a waning gibbous, where it's still almost a full moon, so it's a very good energy to continue sharing what you've learned with others, still be in an action mode. But after the full moon, you probably have a whole new insight. The full moon's like a very much a recharge. So you now maybe seeing your initial intentions in a whole new light. So it's a great time to revisit those initial intentions and see how they have shifted, honor how they have changed, honor how you've been changing throughout this lunar cycle. Now the last quarter moon, so once again, the moon is visible in the sky, forming a square. So we see like this half moon causing a point of tension, frustration, especially with the last quarter moon. It can be the sense of dissatisfaction. But a square in astrology, you're meant to look at it. In astrology, squares and oppositions are point of tension in our chart, but they tend to spark the greatest growth because they do get our attention, and it's like, do I want to stay here in the frustration or do I want to change it? So when you're aware that this may be happening, you can make that choice to change it. So great, the last quarter moon is also a great time for decluttering of your home because it can trigger this sense of frustration within you where you look around and you notice the things that aren't working and you can change, right? It's a good time to make changes. It's a really good time for detoxing as well. Any detoxes that you want to do, decluttering of external and internal. So actually looking at your physical environment and the role that that's played in your manifestation, what it's time to declutter and let go of, as well as your internal world. What is it time to release? What is no longer working for you? And if you're working with this tension that can be formed during the last quarter moon in a really positive way, it actually just fuels your success and allows you to make the necessary changes in your life. Now, the last phase of the moon before we go back into the new moon is the balsamic phase, also known as the waning crescent. And this happens 72 hours prior to a new moon. And during the balsamic phase, physical energy can be at an all-time low, even looking up in the sky, right? The moon, we almost can't even see it anymore. It's being blocked out by the sun, right? It's moving closer and closer to the sun at this time. And it's a signal from the universe for you to wind down a little bit, for you to slow down a little bit and begin to go within. Where is your intuition guiding you at the time? Another way to see the balsamic phase is the bridge between the end of one cycle and a beginning of the other. So honor those cycles in your life. Where is your soul now guiding you? Great time for extra rest, lots of journaling, channeling messages from the divine, because you are going to be extra intuitive and very open at this time for where your intuition is guiding you, what is really flowing beautifully in your life, the changes that you want to make, and just really honoring yourself. And again, intuition is at an all-time high during the balsamic phase. So really pay attention to where you are being guided at this time. And this is the last phase before we begin that whole new cycle again. So really feel the energy into that, right? It's a completion of one cycle so you can fully begin another, so you can fully begin again. So what within you, what cycle within you has come to an end to create a new beginning? What has this journey throughout the month been like for you? Because remember, throughout the month, the moon goes through all these phases. It goes through all the signs of the zodiac. And this is one of the reasons throughout the month we feel these changes in our energy levels. So these are the 8 different phases. I'm going to stop the share here so we can finish off. So those are the 8 phases of the lunar cycle. I hope you got some good screenshots in and have a whole new perspective on the magic of the moon in astrology and just what an important role it plays and how it really connects us back to our body, the wisdom of our body, connects us to manifesting with the divine feminine, allowing it to be easy, fun, creative, and just a deeper way to connect to the goddess energy and co-create, realizing we do not have to rely on our strength alone. We have the support of the universe surrounding us. We have the support of the cosmos on our side. We are one with the cosmos and with these changes. So if you want to go deeper into this work, I invite you to explore a private reading. I do progress charts, solar return charts, birth charts, and all of it designed to help you give a deeper understanding of your unique soul blueprint and how to harness that in your manifestation so you can easily reach your goals by working with your natural energies, your own unique intuitive powers. And of course, we can dive deeply into the moon, where it is located in your chart, and what that says about what you need on a deep emotional level, how that influences your intuition, and how that influences how you're able to connect and show up in relationships, and some of the shadow sides of that, as well as how you can use it in its highest form of expression. So you can click the link just right below this video to learn more about my readings. Thank you so much, goddesses, for hanging out today, sending so much love and light to you, and we will be in touch. Bye.